also a bunch of laning counters still out there.
Winstrike are not picking a Baron. I guarantee it. I really don't think they will pick a Baron when they have Warlock. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
that's
really bad support. Too light on disables.
Yeah, they've very minimal damage, very minimal playmaking. I mean, there's nothing in Dota that's impossible, right? I always say it's a game with, you can do almost anything, right? But it sounds really weak to me to go that route. And even if you counter Batrider with a Baron, Batrider can still have a game. It's just, it's nice against him in the lane. But later in the game, it's definitely still playable to go Batrider.
And the way that a lot of the top teams have dealt with that recently at tournaments has been moving Batrider to support position. So it's like, oh, okay, you're gonna cleanse off my lasso. I don't care. It's a 5-position hero.
Yeah, they just put it on a support role, and if they get the lane matchup where it doesn't face the Abaddon, that's already nice. I could see the Legion Commander ban. I wouldn't mind it. It has a purge for both Fatal Bonds and for the Sanking Stun. So I think Winstrike could definitely consider banning the Legion Commander.
And they could consider picking it.
I meant,
They would, because LC is also a hero that's gotten a lot of
game myself. Just disregard that statement.
Sorry, dude.
I'm just gonna clean that off.
The only thing that can beat Send is Send.
I got distracted.
Dude, Send is never wrong.
I was thinking about Rage for a second. I lost control.
I was thinking about cheeseburgers.
Oh, yeah. So what do you do here? If you're Winstrike, they actually let them have Spectre again if they want. Man. And this time there's a Warlock on the field.
See, this is why I think you should have taken Grimstroke. Because Batrider was not going to get banned. Batrider was not going to get banned in the second phase by Winstrike.
That was... maybe it was. They know Alliance like to play this hero. It's one of Boxy's best. But obviously, Winstrike having a counter pick or two still could have let the Batrider through. But if they let it through here in the second phase, you risk that it gets picked on the 8th pick overall, and then you go into bans. And then if Batrider has 0 bad matchups at that point, it's already a good hero. At this point, I think Winstrike are debating, can we get away with Spectre? I think they're thinking about, is it possible for us to do this without getting completely run over in lanes if we do some tri-lane stuff?
Do you really want to take Spectre here, though? Why don't you wait? You wait.
I think you wait one pick, for sure. But if that's what they have in mind right now and they want to build a Spectre lineup, that influences what kind of hero they want here. It's the natural synergy with Warlock that's just so overwhelming. And Alliance having 0 dispels, Fatal Bond's Haunt deals so much damage. They're
going to go ahead and pick the Spectre up right there. All right.
So what you need to consider now for Winstrike is, you know this Batrider wants to face this lane. You know it. So are you going to double down on making sure you don't get this lane matchup and you do whatever it takes to get Spectre out of this Batrider lane? Or are you going to get a secondary support and tri-lane? Yeah. And can you make a tri-lane? That's the question. Can you make a tri-lane that beats Bat and that's +1?
Both teams are like fine. This is going to be Alliance right now are drafting for an AA Sven +1 tri-lane against a Warlock Spectre +1
yeah,
tri-lane.
That's probably what they're aiming for here.
Yeah, like I think there's no way that AA pick comes out there if you don't have Spectre and thinking along the lines that we're thinking.
I definitely think this is a lane counter logic that they're going for. Ice Blast is not particularly good here. Yeah, I mean you counter Warlock heal, but that spell is largely irrelevant after the laning stage most of the time.
It's also like, it's really important because we've talked a lot about this Warlock Spectre combo in Pro Dota over the last couple of years, and people tend to talk about it in terms of its dual lane. That's not all. Like, Warlock Spectre wins a lot of games just by math, because all of a sudden you get to a certain point in the game where between Dispersion and Fatal Bonds, oh, we got this great initiation. Oh, we got all our spells up. Why are all of our heroes at 50% health?
Yeah.
You just have so many Warlock Spectre games that go that way when the game gets long enough.
The general solutions to Warlock Spectre is either to destroy the map, take towers because they're not ready yet, or to have multiple BKB cores and hit this strong mid-game timing around, let's say, 25 minutes, where Spectre has maybe one item. Let's say she has Radiance or whatever, maybe Radiance and Yasha. And then you have 3 cores with BKBs, you get an Aegis, and you end the game before Spectre reaches 2 or 3 items, at which point Warlock Spectre has a pretty absurd win rate late game. It's basically one of
Dota Plus is not wrong.
One of the best late game carries, and arguably, in many ways, the #1 best late game support, position 5, in terms of damage output and overall presence in fights. So you got to be careful against it. Obviously, Alliance, I've said this a couple of times, but I'll say it again, they have 0 dispels. And this does make Fatal Bonds very scary. They still have 0, but this is the approach they're going to take. They will look to end the game. This is probably going to be a Radiance Bear Lone Druid build that wants to get Aegis for his Sven perhaps, or even for himself, and then push down towers and try to end the game.
And this is your, I think this is your Quirk the hero that it's going to scale really well.
He plays this super well.
He is one of
Really
the,
good.
we talk about Mike being one of the top 3 or 4 morph players in the world. I think Quirk is easily top 5 Lone Druid player for me right
he's
now.
very, very good.
And he is very, very comfortable laning matchups wise with this hero.
For sure. I would probably even put, put him top 3 on Long, actually.
Yeah.
He's very, very good at the hero. Obviously, other notable players, Matumba Man
Matumba is the one that
stands out. I'm trying to think of another one. I actually think Silent on Winstrike plays a really good Lone Druid, but we haven't seen them play too much lately. But I feel like I'm forgetting someone obvious, but that's all right. So, DP ban after Clock was taken out by Winstrike. Alliance obviously looking for either a position 3 or 4, and the value of banning the Clock is it's a flex pick together with the Bat, so you had multiple options of what you wanted to do, because Alliance can technically put this Bat Rider in the trial lane and it won't be bad. Bat and trial lanes is a bit awkward because you give a lot of magic stick charges, but if you play around the trees very cleverly and don't give stick charges too much with the Napalm, it gives you options, but this pretty much confirms that it is a position 3.
It's a core bat.
And this might be...
I like Tusk in a trial lane for the same reason that I like Earthshaker, right? The Fissure and Shards are both spells that can be used to isolate an enemy hero.
It doesn't work against Spectre, though.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's one downside. They're picking him for a tag team primarily, I think, so that they can get on top of someone with their Sven A. Sven A. Tusk is a murder lane. It deals so much damage and it has so much lockdown. I think the key player to look for in this early game for Winstrike is actually the Earthshaker. I think Lil, I'm assuming he's going to be playing the Shaker. He needs to use really, really good fissures just to mitigate deaths. I think it's almost a given that Winstrike will be dying in their lanes, and they're willing to accept that because either they will face a Bat Rider lane with no heroes that are good against Bat, or they will face a tri lane that is absolutely insanely strong. So you need to choose where do you take your losses so that you minimize the overall impact they have on the game, get Ember online in a bad matchup against Lone, and then see if you can make some plays.
I worry a lot. I think Alliance could win all 3 lanes.
They can win all 3 lanes.
I think that's
that is entirely possible.
The big problem that I see with Winstrike's draft, I think on paper it plays pretty well if you get to the mid game near parity. But I look at Alliance's lanes and I think they're just a lot stronger.
I think you have to get the trial lane against Bat Rider. If you get the trial lane against trial lane, Bat Rider destroys Sanking, and you lose all 3 lanes.
Exactly.
So that's really important.
Lanes have the potential to just determine the entire outcome of this game. It's going to be something
I think Korkva's going to win mid as Lone Druid. I think they're going to get that Sven into the tri lane, and I think Alliance's laning phase is going to just be really strong.
If Alliance get all 3 lanes right and Winstrike just accept it, they could lose this game 20 minutes. I think. If they don't, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. If they don't, Warlock Spectre late game trumps all.
And Ember with Fatal Bonds is no joke either. So.
Well, you guys are going to want to be paying attention as soon as this one gets started. It could get determined very early on. If not, it's definitely going to be interesting. Either way, though, we're going to have the top-end analytics brought to us by SAP, and also we're going to have the top-end commentary brought to us by Kyle and Toby. Let's jump down and get this one started.
Top-end by Kyle.
Yeah, Sin's right. Like, the next pair's better than us. We got Cap and Blitz replacing us after this game.
No, he was talking about the way the names are announced. He thinks it should be Toby and Kyle. I agree with Rich. It should be Kyle and Toby, as I am the analytical part of this duo.
There's more to life than analytics. No matter what Nahaz
That's
is trying
not
to feed
what
you in your
SAP
cordial in the
tells
morning.
me.
I spit on your
Well,
stats.
I will be honest, though. I agree wholeheartedly with the analyst in this one, which is that Alliance, if you win all 3 lanes, you can certainly dominate this game. But I think the X factor is the fact that none of the cores on Winstrike are threatened by Tusk. And you get to a point where the Fatal Bonds, the Spectre, Ember Spirit going, like, it's real tough to team fight into Winstrike unless you've got that considerable advantage. And that's predicated on winning your lanes. But the Lone Druid versus Ember I've seen go heavily in the Lone Druid's favor almost every time the matchup has occurred.
You know what? I've seen that, but I've seen more Warlock Fatal Bonding Lone Druid to his bear.
Yeah.
And then just, it's as bad as when you connect him to Roshan. You just can't get
It's true.
away
And
from the fight. You can't get away from the damage.
And there's so much of that damage. AoE damage. The Shaker and the Sand King once again.
And AoE stuns, like, it's 2 big line stuns again, and the AoE Golem that will come down. And your Fatal Bond, you're guaranteed to get the damage in thanks to Spectral Haunt, thanks to Sleight of Fist. All of this is just amplified hugely. And it's like, It's like our draft during our first series. Like, oh, wow, you got Magnus. This is really cool with Empower. If you can get everyone in one big ball together, and this will do so much damage. But if you can't get that off, maybe it's not as great. And maybe that's when the panel is right. Like, if your laning phase goes well enough and you roll this, maybe there's that 20-minute mark that's in put down. It's like, all right, can you win this in this time? Can you be strong enough by that point?
We shall see. That's really the question of the game. So far, we have a tri-lane on tri-lane. Batrider, top lane, solo against Nangrata. He has the Sentry Ward, so it's very important Nangrata gets the War 1. And I think bottom, we'd favor Radiant here, right? It's AA Tusk Sven.
You'd normally favor AA in any kind of tri-lane. Like,
Not as much anymore, but now, look at this. This is the exact what I'm talking about. Look at the stuns.
Oh, Fisher creating more space. This is the way Lil does it, but Insania spills first blood against Silent.
Yep. It's tag teamed, Orb of Venom slow. They get the double stun off. It's just too much damage. And even with all spells expended, Silent gets 100 zeroed.
Yeah.
We can expect this to be rinse repeated by this Alliance trio.
Man, that's some confidence from Nangrata. He doesn't have Sandstorm available. He just had a lot of stick charges.
We'll see.
But you got to feel more comfortable with like Koitva. I guess Storm Spirit game was great, but Lone Druid is kind of his thing.
And it's Alliance's thing throughout history, right? This is the hero we probably most associate with their success. I think we saw last game, most of their issues come in that super late game portion. Lone Druid, he excels at ending games fast.
Nangrata just got taken out by Boxy. They both went just as hard on each other as possible.
Yeah, it's just too many stacks. This is definitely a bad favored matchup. I'm surprised we actually don't see Nangrata backlaning here. That's what I would have expected, and what we've seen a lot of heroes do, even in the mid lane, in these unwinnable matchups. Instead, going to just continue to try and out-CS here. But Boxy, if he gets 3-4 stacks
They're going again under No Fear, locked inside with the shards, still looking for his own run. Tiger has got the slow on No Fear. That's why Lil ready to throw his weight around and body block up his teammate. Body block for his teammate. Let's change that wording to be accurate.
Yeah, the thing is, it's one of those scenarios where if Lone Druid, if Koifa can get ahead here, he'll be level 5 so quickly.
They're going again. Great Fisher block. Tiger can't do anything about it, not until Snowball is up.
Yep. It's just one of the scenarios. Whenever there's tri-lane on tri-lane, the mid matchups, the solos, they become so much more important because they'll have that huge level advantage. Koifa will be able to do an uncontested amount of tower damage in comparison to every hero on Winstrike, and that's the big flaw in the draft. They can kill you. They can play fast around the map, but they can do nothing to towers until they have items.
He can't even turn fast enough to get the stun he wants to or the reposition. 3 kills in favor of Alliance. The snowball is starting to accrue.
They're already winning all 3 lanes, Toby. That's what the panel was talking about, and there's not really much you can do as Winstrike to contest. Their supports don't really roam Warlock. He's a babysitter, and sure, Lil could move, but level 2, level 3, not going to get much done. We're actually going to see them swap lanes completely, but dude, Boxy's almost level 5. Is this really something you want to do, Winstrike?
Don't know. AA is coming towards the top lane to try and counter the other rotation. So it's a 2-2, now actually giving a 3-2. Alliance is bringing everyone up north apart from
Spectre
Sven.
TP'd. We've talked about in the past why this is a poor decision, because it's now easy for Alliance to just TP back. They're going to have lane control, and they're just going to sit here. You don't care if Mickey, sure you might suffer a bit against Sand King, but because of the build and the nature of the hero, you're going to constantly push under tower. Mickey's going to recover and free farm no problem. And again, what does an Earthshaker do to help set up a kill on a Sven? Level 2.
Yep. Not a lot. In fact, nothing. In fact, Warlock's in trouble. The Cold Feet combining with the shards is already dropping No Fear so low. He doesn't have a lot of life to work with, but the Fissure block from Lil, that'll help out as Tiger, he's actually connected to the Ancient Apparition at the moment. But what does Tiger want to do? He's got a couple of stick charges waited out the rock wall. That's what he's going to do. As they want to back up, another Spectral Dagger throwing forward. The shard block, doesn't matter. Tiger can move over the top of it, and he knows he needs to attack Asania. By doing so, they kill off Tiger thanks to the Fatal Bonds. Nice target choice from Winstrike, getting them on the board.
Yeah, but Boxy denied a whole creep wave while that went down. He's level 5. All of the heroes against him in lane are 2 or 3, and you can't afford to make those sorts of moves as Winstrike if the Batrider is in the vicinity. Runes are spawning as well. Boxy's going to head over. And even in a 2-on-3 scenario, I don't think you can test Alliance.
Yeah, it'll end up being a 2-2 trade-off unless something can be done rather spectacularly.
Mid.
Yeah, that's a nice little bit of extra control on Kuman, who needs a bottle charge.
But look at the CS. This is the problem. It's a lone druid versus Ember. You cannot win this matchup. 30-13 versus 19-1.
They
Kuman forced to the
picked
jungle.
they picked this 5th. Winstrike picked this into Alliance.
You know it's a bad matchup in the lane, but it's so good in the game, I don't blame them. And lone druid really formidable against any sort of opponent. Not many heroes can go toe-to-toe, especially when you consider there's no one really able to rotate on him. When you pick the Warlock, it's just Warlock Shaker so early, you just can't find kills early on.
Bottom lane, Mickey wants to fight with Insania, going after Nongrata. The cold feet will
stunned.
actually clip, and that means Nongrata should die in the tree line. Stick charges give him a little bit extra of time as Insania attacks out. Nice juke moving south. Mickey, he felt it. He knows where he's going. Looking for him in the trees once again into the sandstorm. Sentry ward dropped down, so they'll have to commit 100 gold to get this kill. And they'll find him in the trees. One storm bolt to finish the job. While mid lane is doing his own prep up. Tiger
Just going straight
wants to
forward,
wrap
phase boots on
around
Bear.
the back, slows down Kuman. They just need one quick and easy route. They'll fear him to begin with, and now the Sleight of Fist, a route, there you go, locking down the Ember.
And catapult
Now,
wave.
instant pressure into the tier 1 tower, while Silence in trouble up on top. He's sticking napalmed up. The Firefly from
got lasso, he's
Boxy
dead.
is right on top with the lasso. He'll hold him in the fire and the flames. And these kills stretching from all lanes in favor of Alliance.
Yep, Winstrike is just tough. You need to try and recover, get levels, find fights with some Ember rotations and a Warlock Golem. Alliance have no intention of allowing this to happen, though. They just want to keep applying pressure. Mid tower already at 600 HP. It's going to be the Koifa show for some time. You expect to see him kill this tower at some point and then just look to move top. And Boxy's so strong, no one can land against the bat.
Silence already rotated out. He's headed to the bottom lane. But thanks to the fresh Observer Ward planted by AA, Alliance knew about this instantly. So if they want to change their lanes, they can do so. But right now, do you even need to?
No, you don't.
Actually, look at it. He's going BTs first over on Boxy. It's not even drums. It's not even initiation.
It doesn't matter if you have 4 heroes bottom, Toby. Like, you're going to have Boxy up top completely uncontested. And it's not as if you can dive a Sven under tower. He's already got treads, 1,200 health, and a full stick.
Koifa's beaten the tier 1 tower down. It'll bring it close to deny range. And then, one quick route. This means extra movement can come in from the Tusker. He's already used his Sleight of Fist defensively, and Kuman knows that when that's down, he's open season.
Yeah, but he also knows there's no glyph available, so Koifa can continue to play offensive here. Looks like he's going
Observer Ward scouted Lil's movement.
I like the build on Koifa too. The phase into the Mask of Madness. Maximize that tower damage the bear can output, and then look to scale for the Radiance. The perfect build in this kind of game. And look at him, just run at the tower. If you want to leave the lane, Kuman, you're going to lose this tower.
Yep. And Koifa's going to guarantee it.
Yep. And you can't, look, what do the supports do? They're watching. You can't kill Lone Druid with 3 heroes. It doesn't matter. And Boxy is just top all by himself. They're totally dominating 2 lanes.
They didn't even have to worry about, like, okay, so if Alliance initiate, because Alliance was never going to do that. Thanks to these 2 Observer Wards that you already saw AA plant down on the southern side of the map. Like, they see everything in the bottom river. And now they're getting their own, oh, wow, he actually, with the 1 sentry, got rid of the Obs and the sentry ward instantly?
Look up top as well, Toby. There's a bear with the Mask of Madness and a double damage just immediately rotating over.
Well, I don't think that tower's going to last
Dude,
that
Boxy
long.
has bots.
Yeah.
8-minute bots.
He just went straight for it, so he can move around the map, and he'll come over to look for Warlock. No Fear is in trouble. The Fissure will keep Boxy away, but with a sticky napalm, No Fear is having a hard time walking this off. The Firefly will come on top, and No Fear will burn to death.
And no one can do a damn thing about it, Toby.
And the tier 1's gone.
Yeah. Like, how simple is it for a Lone Druid to just move around the map? Even though Kuman is there, he can do nothing but watch, and even now.
If he gets rooted, he's almost dead if he gets rooted, especially when he's waiting this late.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
How many times must he get hit before the root will finally connect?
How many? Seriously, he should
10.
die here.
We're at 10, 11.
Hello?
12. Kuman, then 1 attack from Koifa. On the 14th,
The
the last
last
one. Oh, that's just hilarious.
Admiral Bulldog would have got a root way faster than Koifa there.
He's still at 5.5k net worth to the it's not even 3k, 2.9k of the Ember. That's number 1 of either side's net worth.
Yep. See, you can threaten the Lone Druid if you don't crush in all your lanes like this, but Like, you can't deal with the
Nice
bat.
entry. Nongrata doesn't know where the detection is. He thought it maybe was a little bit further north, but that won't happen. The lasso is out. The fissure block, it actually just keeps Meke out of this one. They are tethered together thanks to the better bonds, but inside the fire and the flames, they're still battling once again. A snowball for some protection over towards Lil. Keep the stuns going. Another spirit jump in. Boxy, he just wants this last kill. He's able to get it on Lil, and now Mickey, where is your attack? He's got Stormbolt in 4 seconds time. Won't happen. Meanwhile, up on top, in the northern lands, buildings are falling.
Yeah, Insania just collecting free experience mid. It's a 7k gold lead at 10 minutes, and this all goes back to that objective pressure. This is the Alliance comfort zone when they have some hero, like a Lone Druid, that can just slay buildings. It simplifies the game, because now you can turn this laning advantage into an easy game script, where Koifa just plays by himself, leave him alone for 10-15 seconds. He's threatening, he's forcing the glyph, he's killing a tower, and no one can play against him. Spectre is level 5. The supports are level 4.
They have no damage. Like, there's just nothing to come out from them. The Ember, like, there's some control levels, but if the supports don't get their ultis, if the supports can't even get maneuverability items, they're also in trouble.
Look at Boxy. He's gonna farm double stacks in the enemy jungle. And Sania grabs the tome, so now he's level 6. And you're feeling great as Alliance because you have that kill threat like we see now.
They're off to Silent.
Lasso.
They want to make sure he's down. They're waiting. They're waiting. Is there a little bit of extra slow? Silent. He can't get out of this one. The Ice Blast going to connect, so Insania will take the kill.
It's casual. They don't have Lasso. It doesn't matter. And now Koifa just collects this free tier 2 top, no problem.
Sure, casual murder.
What items is he going? Has he spent his money on something?
He's got a Radiance and Quick Buy for Koifa.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, I was clicking on the bear, and it didn't look like it had gold. The bear will die. Nope. Gets the last hit.
Boxy has an Invis rune. He's going to scout the Remnant over on the side. That's Kuman into the trees. TP scroll, he's going to use it, and that lasso's back off cooldown.
Got him.
And I love how he starts it. Starts with a sticky napalm. He wants to ensure the tick damage is still going to be there. He knew where the Remnant was so he can chase him down, but not enough movement speed to get out of the shackles and keep on.
I actually think that's worse for Kuman because
Really?
there's no shrine. So now he has to Remnant, walk all the way back to base, and then come back in. But it's so much time wasted. I mean, dying's probably worse, but point is, it's still job done for the Boxy Batrider. 6-0. Love the itemization. He just goes bots for the map control after the early bottle to stay on map. Drums next. All about the stats.
Kills in every single
look at where
lane
he's
as well.
played too. You know, aggressive. Second highest amount of kills. You know. Not bad under the circumstances when you consider the entire squad of Alliance is on top.
They're going after Silent. Cold feed him up, put him in the vortex, throw the Ice Blast. Silent is dead.
Oh, there's the root.
Yeah, there's your root. That'll bring him down to his shatter percentage. Koifa State, well,
Is
it?
it?
He's close. One more tick. 130 out of the 1,000.
Don't blame Koifa, though. He just doesn't want to overextend. He feels like they're so far ahead. As long as he doesn't go down, they're going to be fine. He's got the relic in a moment.
Is he waiting for someone to TP back?
Nah, he's just farming.
All right.
And Mickey silently, 100 CS, 13 minutes in, second in net worth. Just an easy game.
Yeah. As he says, the Koifa show, right? So Mickey kind of moves to the back lines, even though his Morphling will forever ring in my eyes.
Yeah, and this is just simple for Alliance. It's a flip of the game. Game 2, where the Spectre was the one constantly playing the dead lane. This time, Boxy just a lone bottom. Not really a target, though, because, once again, how do you kill him? You're going to need Ember +2.
They are coming north for a target, so Insania is the easier one, but Koifa's bare scouting out the movement.
Yep. You're making a play now. Insania will probably go down here as 4 heroes converge.
Yep, he's got some friends, though. Boxy's going to be in the neighborhood. Oh, okay, Rock's going to drop. Maybe that wasn't the friend you wanted to try and save, but Boxy will get back out. The Stormbolt flies forward, and Batrider is the one ticking down, but there's already 2 heroes lost for Alliance. So, yep, Insania does get the kill on Silent. But Mickey, what else have you got less to fight? You've got support coming in through the back, coming in the form of the defensive snowball, but the double bar strike from Nongrata creates more space. Koifa, can he do something much more? No, he cannot. He knows Mickey is dead. Tiger's going to go down, and in all great Alliance games, we bring the game back through death.
I'm talking about it like, oh, look at Alliance. They're just toying with him. Insania is like, guys, just let me die. I'm an AA. But instead, they look to fight. They have a Radiance in like 700 gold. Just chill. Let your 5 position die. But Boxy moving in, you're going for the Spectre of all heroes. Just continue to play the map. You're doing so good. All you need is that Radiance. Play as a group. Koifa cannot be the last one to a fight if you want to take it. You're so far ahead. Limit the risk. Well done by Winstrike. You know, they blew all their spells. They find 4 kills. They needed that desperately.
The pain level is starting to rise. And that is definitely not the dream, but hello, they found Silent. Rolling boulder forward, and boom, hits the Ice Blast onto No Fear, but the Fatal Bond connects them again. Oh, Boxy, Spirit Jump forward. All these items that give you movement speed do not give you life, and Insania hung around too long as well. Overconfidence is your weakness. Winstrike's faith in their friends is theirs.
Thing is, it's not changing the gold lead. It's still fine for Alliance.
Because
but
Koifa's still doing his
yeah,
stuff.
it's just like, why though? Why? Why?
Okay, Kyle, take a moment to breathe. I will explain to everyone right now. Kyle needs a moment to remain positive and get in that headspace.
But the thing is, they're winning. The Alliance is winning the game. It's just that they've like their timing is now. They're no longer like 3 mistakes, 4 mistakes.
It's
ahead.
no longer the 20-minute mark that,
yeah,
that was being pinned.
Now they have to play it far more carefully. They need to ensure they get a Roche. They can't just march down lanes and take towers for free because the levels are there on Winstrike. Max Fatal Bonds. Veil. You're soon to have 2 points in that ultimate plus a blink up on Non-Grata. The Ember Spirit is a hero now. It's a different game because no matter how big your gold lead is, we talked about this, before the BKBs, you're so susceptible to walking forwards as Koifa and Mickey. You get Fatal Bonded, and then this mass amount of magic damage comes out, and everybody goes down. No one's going to be building a pipe for some time. The BKBs on Mickey and Boxy are still a ways away. You got to be careful here.
They just smoked in range of the Observer Ward. Kuman saw it. And what does he do? He put a defensive spirit down so he could break the smoke back up, but they're still going to fight. Dust going to be triggered. SK being pulled in. Spectral Haunt is a good Ice Blast, however, so SK will fall, but these Fatal Bonds, once again, Sven just doesn't have the life to survive through this. AA's already gone down, and this is Winstrike on the rampage forward. Tiger, he'll run back past where the rune used to be, and he'll go down. A double kill for Kuman.
I'm sorry, Toby, what the fuck? What? Koifa's not there. He's the Radiance hero. You're in the enemy jungle. Ember scouted the smoke. He CCs you and you just dive. You just dive forwards. You all in on the Sand King, who's just truthfully not the relevant hero here. You don't want trades as Alliance. You want objectives. You want easy, low-risk fights. Just kill the towers.
And Warlock even denies the tower. He used his golem to come down and deny the tier 1 tower. All right, at this point, sprinkle that pixie dust on your head and think a happy thought until you fly. Alliance is still in the lead by 7,000, but it's the ticking time bomb of the Winstrike combinations. And not even the ticking time bomb, they're showing it working.
The gold hasn't changed, but a lot of that is towers. The XP graph is... Look, the win! You see what I mean? You see how the win probability was spiking?
Here they go for a fight. Insania. Well, they'll have to commit a little bit harder. Ice Blast will commit over on Kuman. Spirit Jump up and down. So AA is down. Tiger getting caught out as well. He's going to snowball himself forward. They really want to try and kill off this Ember. They'll be successful. This Boxy remains in this fight. The stun from Mickey keeping his control. Where is this lone Druid? He's still moving over from mid lane. In fact, he'll find his own target retreating back through mid in the form of Non-Grata. But the blink away before you can get any kind of burn, any kind of effect on him. So SK's away to safety.
It's amazing how well these fights go for Alliance if they're not invading enemy high grounds. And now they can group up around Koifa. He's going to just, look at this, beat down this tier 2. It's immediately going to die.
Yep.
And now Alliance control the top area of the map, get Roche at a point, and get the BKBs. That's what they need now if they want to decisively take engagements, because it's the Fatal Bonds. That's the true problem with the Winstrike lineup for this Alliance team. They need it on Sven, they need it on the Bat, then they can get aggressive.
You got Blink on ES as well as SK now.
Yep,
Alliance
have
to
vision,
be
they have
careful.
Vision,
Here's the
forwards.
epicenter under the Observer and Sentry. The Fatal Bonds together. Ice Blast will be able to get back, but you may not even have a hero. Lone Druid as well.
They're going to get more.
As Tuskar is down, and yep, they're chasing Insania. He'll take a fall. 3 heroes on the sideline. Roshan's available if you want it. D-Ward the Observer. You even saw that being planted down. And Boxy's just like, I need to have pressure on the sideline.
Hey, props to the Warlock, though.
There
That ward,
again.
that high ground ward, you can see it just above, giving total vision, and it allows you to utilize these 2 blinks perfectly. You need to play around the Lone Druid Radiance burn. You know you're playing against Blink Initiators. Lone Druid counters this, but only if you position properly. and they just did not foresee that vision. That's a great ward. It's it shouldn't surprise you, but it's definitely not something you would necessarily expect every time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be kicking yourself watching that replay, though, as Sania.
The fact that they had that Observer Ward allows Winstrike to take that fight without dropping Golem, without having to commit big cooldowns. Like, the Echo Slam was definitely used, so that's on cooldown for the moment, but it won't stop a Blink Fissure. It won't stop this type of control. And now the rune battle begins, Kuman. He's got Boxy on his tail. He'll find himself an Invis rune as well on the top river. But the fight's happening on bottom lane where they're setting up. There's your Burrow Strike forward, catching the Ancient Apparition. They want to remove that Ice Blast straight away. In fact, they already knew he was going to tick down to the SK. There isn't a secondary jump, however.
Yep. Thing is, though, it's just buying time for Winstrike. You still always have that threat. Your Alliance, you're going to have those BKBs at a point. The bots onto the bear, you know, it just takes that one fight and Arax will go down. The thing is, the longer this game goes, the easier it is for Winstrike to ensure Alliance never get that critical moment to go for the jugular. And their team fight never really weakens. It's all about the BKBs. Alliance, they've got to get these items up. They're about 500 gold away on both the Sven and the Bat. Then it's go time. Smoke, find kills, get Roche, look to go high ground, or at the very least, choke out Winstrike. But their gold lead is just being whittled away moment by moment.
And the longer this goes on, the stronger Silent's going to become, harder to control. If you can get the man to maybe at one point he'll actually start doing some damage. That isn't just the negligible one that needs Fatal Bonds to really be effective. But it's all taking time. Boxy, as you said, he's working his way into the BKB and getting a Blink Dagger from Tiger so he can be that jump initiator.
Yep. Thing is, as soon as you get one up on Ember, he's just not threatened by the damage of Alliance anymore, so long as he doesn't get lassoed preemptively. And Manta on Silent, that's big, because it means he's able to just juke. You don't lasso him reliably anymore, and his damage output spikes hard. There's the Boxy BKB. Mickey will have his in just a moment. And 22 minutes in. Still top 3 net worths, all Alliance, but nipping on their heels are 4 heroes from Winstrike. DD just spawned outside the pit. Could be big for Alliance. You ask for timing, this is it. But Kuman, he'll swipe it away.
Yep. Cannot allow them to have it. And maybe a good time for Winstrike. They're 3-man smoking up.
They've got Haunt active. The Sven BKB was just completed, though. They're going to see it.
That jump in, Blink, double Burrow Strike, Nongdrada,
and
they get a chase down
God.
They just layer it perfectly, one after the other. One dries, then you put the wet stuff on top.
And I love it. Winstrike, they recognize their win condition. We can't let Alliance walk down lanes behind the bear. They did us a favor and didn't do it for 15 minutes. Now, we are going to take the opportunity, abuse our Blink Daggers, 100-0. Mickey dies. There's no save available.
And they want more. They're looking for the Batrider.
He's got a BKB.
Lil's right behind him. Puts out the fissure. Is able to connect over on the stun. Is he going to get out of this one? It's going to be trouble. BKB. And, yep, TP away. It'll be fine.
Just, problem is, it's like the panel brought up at the start. You know, the issue with the Lone Druid, you can see it. The Fissure, Lil, just once again, perfect. The dunk. The Golem, just 100-0. Nothing you can do as Mickey there to survive, and it's something I said for a while, right? How do you make Toby Wan as good of a player as anybody else in Dota? They're both stunned, they're both useless. Although most players, of course, when not stunned, are useful.
I do not understand why that has to be using me as a reference, but sure. Anyway. Roshan now going to go the way of Alliance because their big abilities aren't down, but they're coming over underneath Observer Ward. So this time it's Alliance who had the vision advantage. In fact, they're coming a little closer, looking for their own fight to have. Roshan should be finished, but they're coming very close to the pit. Right out the beginning, at the front of it, Lil. He can't get close enough. Roshan's still only 1/3 the way down. They can kill Lil. Glimmercave's buying some more time, but they're fatally bonded. And he got Roshan. He held him together. You know they wanted to keep doing more damage to the Burrow Strike forward. Mongra's going to kill him off. Here comes your Ice Blast. Koifa, you're dead to right. He's actually dead 52, no buyback available. The stuns are there, so at least on Grata will be a rebuttal. But the damage into Roshan, yeah, Mickey, don't hit that. Tiger needs a snowball to actually save himself. Finally, the Feather Bonds is gone. But Lil, he'll get flipped like a pancake thanks to the Walrus Punch. Boxy is back into the fight. Layer everybody out with the Sticky Napalm as well as the Firefly. Get some distance because Mickey, he needs it. Up the hill, the shields from Warcry, they protect him enough. Now the Yule Scepter up as well. Insania wants to help out on Grata. Epicenter with the Burrow Strike. He'll slow down Boxy just enough to find the kill. But Tiger, does he get his own one? Inside the Sandstorm, he's ticking out. He can find the kill, but just in time until Kuman arrives for his own Sleight of Fist rebuttal. Roshan's still up on almost no life. They have to get in there.
Kuman, he missed the chains on Mickey, or he would have found that Sven kill and turned that fight around a bit earlier. An unfortunate mistake, and it could punish them here. He's going to reset. No remnants, though. You've got to be cautious. Boxy's still dead. Runes have spawned. He'll take the top one. No Sven ulti.
Side of fist.
No.
Chains! He gets chained again on Roshan! Roshan actually kills him! Roshan! He may as well have claimed that double kill! He got it. Koiper will claim the Agassi model in return. Then, my God, how is this shit not patched?
You can't fight into Roche if the Fatal Bonds go on the Roche.
It's Tiger's dead. They're going to fight once more. The root is there. One remnant back away, but their lasso hold has been positioned. Bring down the Emperor Spirit. Oh my God. Jesus.
What a game. What a game so far. And still, anybody can win this match.
In the phrase of Kyle, it is anybody's game.
The thing is, doesn't matter how many mistakes they may have made to this point. Alliance now, they have the Aegis on the Lone Druid, and you can see how confident they are when Winstrike's big abilities are spent.
Here we go again. The Feather Bonds, they connect them together. Stun on Roshan, buys some time, and he realizes, Mickey, he can't attack anybody.
Oh, top, there's a huge fight.
Oh, the Fatal Bonds is connected once again, but No Fear's already gone down. Can they get a control? Yeah, they can with a Blink Burrow Strike forward. Ancient Apparition will fall.
You're okay with this.
I think they're still looking for more. Koifer is just around the corner. He can pull that bear back in again. Right now, SK's just hiding in his own sandstorm, but there's your Fissure. They're seeing the bear.
You can't fight this here. You can see Spectre already just moving back. He wants to farm creeps here. No intention of engaging. That Diffusal Spike is a huge damage increase, and all of a sudden, that AA of Insania, no longer will he be able to casually blast his ultimate onto the target of his choosing. He'll have to immediately pop it off before he goes down, because he's just going to be gunned for by this by the Silent Spectre. And it's just, it's still, like, Lincoln's now on Kuman. Love that decision. The Maelstrom, now, all of a sudden, how do you kill him? The lasso, the Sven stun, they're not threats anymore. It's all on, really, the punch of Taiga or some sort of Lincoln's cancel immediately. That's very difficult until Boxy has a Force Staff, and he wants Blink first. This is a tough game. It's still, you know, Alliance, you get 2 pickoffs and all of a sudden you're killing Iraq, sure.
Yeah.
But it just feels like one of those games where at this point, if both sides have all their abilities active and every side is able to use their spells, there's nothing you can do to beat Winstrike 5-on-5. The Warlock's going to go down first, but you've got no Blink Daggers yet. There's no real reach.
It's kind of the way you're talking about it. Like Winstrike, if Alliance go for a fight, they get a couple of pickoffs. If Winstrike goes for a fight, they kill the entire of Alliance. Yeah. Like that's the difference here. And if Alliance can keep the Lone Druid alive during the fights, then it's going to be okay.
And it just, the spread damage, Toby. I love this from Kuman. He gets the Spell Amp into Mjolnir will be his next decision. It's just about AoE. Fatal Bonds. I don't care that they changed the numbers by 1%. I don't care.
It was a 1% as well, remember? They changed the talent as well. That's a great grand total of 2.
It's 2%. It does not mean anything. It's still, by far, if you land on 3 or 4 heroes, the highest increase in damage output that exists on a spell in Dota 2. And when you combine it with this amount of AoE, Lil on the Shaker, Nangrad on the Sand King, Alliance, you've got to spread perfectly to win this battle. And somehow kill this Warlock.
I love that Observer Ward that's just sitting, like, it's in the tree line, just off to the side where they broke another tree. No sentry wards coming in range of this one. It's just allowed Alliance to know just how much Winstrike is trying to commit to the northern side of the map. And Winstrike's been looking. They've thrown down many sentry wards of their own. But Alliance will smoke up. Wards don't matter now. They'll try and find their target, and they're pinging bottom lane.
They've got the AC, so their structured damage is about at its peak. Still a slight gold lead, but I do believe XP is now firmly in favor of the Dire team. No,
It's
still close,
It's
still
about
close.
2.5k, hovering around, by the looks of it.
You have map control, though. That's the key. You can see Winstrike, they're stuck in the base now. They don't want to fight into the AC Aegis combo. And this is the benefit of the Alliance draft. You are always that one. You can just capitalize so easily. Winstrike, sure, they can win these fights, but they need to win more of them to actually look to start threatening the base.
30-minute bounty runes, everyone's breaking off.
Yep.
Winstrike will get the northern, Alliance will get the south.
Should be able to take tower as well, though. And the structure damage, you can see it happen. The Battlecry cooldown talent, actually, Koifa taking the tome. He wants to be able to spam this ability now. Just 20 seconds on the CD for plus 130 damage on the bear. Grata in some trouble, but do you want to fight this if you're Alliance? Do you want to be the aggressor
Wow,
here?
he actually blinked in. Glimmer Cape did trigger, so at least he won't take as much damage, but onto the Sentry Wall, there's no invis to hide him at all. Goodbye, SK, and dead for 54 seconds. Maybe another catch up. No, another Glimmer Cape. Tuskar goes invis, and Kuman can't do anything, but does get the DD.
The Aegis as well has faded. You got to be careful, though, if you're Kuman. Yeah, he's backing away wisely. I like the warding from the Warlock here. All defensive, just trying to keep tabs on Alliance because they want to take that fight, but they need vision. And it's difficult to maintain that on the enemy side of the map if you're stuck in your base.
I love that. 32 wards placed out of it all.
You've got to. And he's still got higher net worth than both of the enemy supports. Just because Koifa and Mikke are soaking up so much of the map. Boxy taking whatever's left in the off lanes.
Yeah, hold that bear in position for a little bit longer.
You got to remember the other benefit of the Warlock against Lone Druid, the upheaval. Later in the game, it's so easy for Winstrike to kill these bears off by just throwing out some stuns and ensuring that the Warlock's far enough back that you can't interrupt that channel. Now there's just a 0 MS bear stuck in the base. Easy pickings for the Winstrike draft.
Well, they're grouping up for a smoke gank. Lil's got a fresh Yule Scepter to add to the arsenal of Winstrike. But where do they go? They're pinging, like, the line's been drawn to move into their own jungle in the north, but Alliance is already back. They're already pushing the side lanes out.
But it's important that they smoked here because Winstrike needed to get out of their base. They have to establish some form of map control. They've got a couple sentries. They got one ward. They want to get something done. Koifa wisely shoving bot.
They just dropped the Observer and the Sentry underneath the Radiant Sentry.
Unfortunately.
They had to get rid of the Sentry, which is going to reveal the position of the ward anyway. But yeah, with Koifa's bear doing this on bottom, eventually the creep wave was going to push so far that Winstrike had to return, and now it's Alliance's turn.
Yep.
They'll smoke up.
But we've seen this happen before, Toby.
Oh, look. Hi, Ember. Hi, Ember. Jump, jump. Beautiful. And away. And the BKB for even being burnt by Boxy.
Yep, and that's all because the Lincoln's on the Ember. You can't ever go for the lasso unless somebody else is there to use their spells in tandem.
With the BKB down, they're feeling a little bit... Oh, Koifa, what are you doing? He's still left behind. Now Nongrata, able to get the Burrow Strike out. Lil's in the neighborhood, gets his double stun. No fear, just wants to hold them together. And Koifa, well, can't keep running. The Savage Roll send them back, but it's a huge rock at the back lines. Incendio will fall. Koifa finally brought down by the Slider Fist, and the Lions are in full retreat. And there's no buyback available on Koifa. And Lil, he's able to connect on the stun. Chain it up. Now your Burrow Strike. Bring down the Tuskar. All three heroes trying to buy back. Now take it back. He just got it. Just enough money for both the Tuskar as well as the Lone Druid.
But he'd only have one bear on respawn. What's he doing there, Toby? Completely isolated in the mid lane. I said follow Koifa as Alliance, but not from that far of a distance. You don't have to worry about him losing the tail. He's your friend.
Oh boy. Winstrike going to make the most out of the remaining golem. Just push down the mid lane. They're ready to fight, even though Rock is down. Echo and Epi are both still up. And of course, connecting with Fatal Bonds. Like, as long as Fatal Bonds is off cooldown, you're good. You're Gucci.
Yeah. You need Sven and Bat to go in, not on a core, but on the back line. But Kuman's done such an excellent job this game of putting himself between his teammates and the Alliance movement. They need to kill Warlock. They need to get the initiators, the Sand King, the Shaker, but they don't have the vision to do so. And Winstrike continue to punish poor positioning from Alliance, just outplaying them so far in this game. And Kuman, you know, I can agree with this. I was like, oh, Mjolnir, that makes a lot of sense. This actually makes more sense. The Shivas, spread damage, vision,
another
and
slow.
Still more of that spread DPS to benefit from the amplification of the Fatal Bonds. Makes total sense.
Alliance are looking for Roshan. 1 minute until he will spawn. This is a little too long for them, so look for something else. No, this whole series has been so intense. I don't feel like it should have been this intense, though. There's been a couple of mistakes, like a couple of unforced errors that's just brought this game always back to, like, even keel.
And you still don't have a Lincoln's cancel on Alliance, and it's part of the problem here.
Does Kuman buy the Shivas for this next engagement?
I think he does, but it's risky because you want buyback. You really feel like if you're Winstrike, the longer this game goes, the better. You don't want to be in a position because think about how hard Alliance can punish a hero without buyback. They can go straight for the base.
2.7k surplus only. That's not enough unless he really wants to commit a regeneration rune and bottled up. You know he wants something, but you also know that Roshan is going to be the next big point of contention. Like 35-minute bounty runes will be split. The bottom lane can be pressured in a little bit more. At least get Elias to look away from Rosh. They need to look in again.
And they need to drop an AAW there.
Just a Vortex, that's all you need. Unless, all right, Tiger, what do you want to throw something? Right now, they're going to lose their tier 2 tower on bottom lane at this rate.
And this is going to give Ember the gold to get Shivas here.
Oh god, Box
saving surplus.
Foxy, do not die.
It's just
behind the tower. Like, if you could just feel the heat behind the tower. They're thinking about going on Kuman. This is a huge fight if they can get it, but the Lincoln Sphere breaks and they push him away, and now it's a revenge kill. The BKB will never come up. They drop the rock, and in the back lines, you've got Insania. They're right on top of the Ancient Apparition. Mecha as well.
Where's
also in
the
retreat.
Team?
I don't know, Kyle. I don't know.
Cutfa is farming. Taiga is farming. You're trying to initiate on an Ember Spear with the Lincolns.
They thought it was an easy pickoff. It obviously was not. Now Winstrike is going to come up high ground. Oh boy. Well, the tier 3 tower's gonna have the crap beaten out of it. The buyback does come in from Ancient Apparition. Another Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, Chain Control, Burrow Strike forward. Remember, they got no Batrider for this fight. Mickey just trying to tank the entire thing for them, and maybe he can. Under the protection of his BKB, hits hard into Kuman, removing a third with just one hit. But Winstrike, they back up. Remember, while all this is going on, the other lanes are pushing, but Roshan's still up. They're thinking about trying to kill off this bear, but they can't get close enough to it. They have to retreat and get control of this map, Winstrike.
Reset, wait for your ultis to cool back up. You're good to go again. You're going to have bots now on the Sand King. This means hunting the bear is far easier for Winstrike now because one TP, the bots, suddenly with the hero in the lane already, that's a dead bear for sure.
They're going for Rosh. Alliance need to take this while Rock is down, while Spectral Horn is not available.
But remember, no BKB on the Sven. You've got to be careful. Winstrike, no.
ES and SK also still have their ultimates as well. They just need
very quickly.
Yeah, they won't get there in time. They're well out of position. Batrider is becoming the buffer. My god, they hit hard. And Roshan will fall.
Poetic, though, that as it does, Winstrike take their first gold lead in this game, I believe since it started. Because they got crushed in the lanes. And they have clawed their way back into it.
Alliance, you have to say that. Alliance get it back now.
Sure, but what are they going to do with it? That's the question, Toby. You've got an MKB on the bear. That's great, but he needs that BKB that he's got queued up. Mickey, you've got a Daedalus, sure, but we could see how easy it is for Winstrike to just initiate on him, lock him down, and ensure that he's forced to pop his ulti and hit whatever's in front of him versus initiate in onto one of those squishier backline targets. If Warlock is able to play this free of a game in the backlines, like No Fear is not going to have any problems casting his spells, winning his team of fights.
Kuman.
There you go.
Got him.
They needed that one, and now he's going to be forced to buy back if Alliance can get into the base. 3K gold lead all of a sudden just because they take out that big target. But they've wanted that for so long. It's 38 minutes in. Finally, we see Alliance. They get the pick off they need, and it's time to go. But all the spells coming back up. Haunt active, Dunk, Golem, everything's ready. You got to be cautious here, Alliance. I don't care if you have Aegis. I don't think you win a team fight if you try and take it on the high ground into a buyback.
We're going to find out. Alliance are going to push it. Prepare the defenses, Winstrike. The Alliance siege has begun. Fissure, Fatal Bonds, connecting Koitva's bear to Sven. With the upheaval, difficult to get in close. The bear is still copying a lot of damage. Obviously not Invis. They dropped an extra sentry just in case the tower goes down. It's like, hey guys, should we deny this? Okay, I guess not. Warlock was pinging it.
Yep.
The bear is, oh, don't grata. He needed to hit the stun. The bear is so low on life.
They're preserving the buyback though. Alliance.
Yeah.
it gets so dicey. They wait another 15, 20 seconds for this next wave. Maybe you kill a Rax, but you're going to be fighting 5-on-5.
That wave is taking so long to get there, too.
Here we go.
They have
very tense.
The bear has managed to like at least regen up a little bit, but here we go, another chip away. Batrider jumps in, no detection. He actually drops him up. At least Warlock will die. Buyback's available. It'll be the Death Rock that comes out of the Warlock with the Spectral Horn forward. They're in full retreat, Alliance. They got what they were looking for with one buyback, but it was Warlock. It wasn't the Ember Spirit.
Who's going to TP forwards?
Oh, he's jumping out towards the shrine. He's ready to fight. And the Searing Chain combining with the double stun and double stun. It's just perfectly laid again, but the ultimate stun. If they can kill the Ember, they've got him. Buyback is available. Mickey looking for more damage. Actually, no, he's not. He's looking for a way out. Blinks down towards Roshan. They just want to disengage, but that won't happen. Lil's found his own target in the form of Ancient Apparition. He'll solo him up, or will he? Nongrata, he'll bring in the extra Burrow Strike, and Insania will die in the river, while the bear is on the run from the rest of Winstrike. It just can't get back. It's continuously... Oh, okay, now it's finally able to be returned.
The thing is, though, Silent has 6,500 gold. I understand why you want to preserve buyback, but...
It's useless net worth.
Yeah, not this much gold. And in reality, if he's got like a butterfly, a heart, I don't see how he dies. And if he does, the rest of his team has so much time to combo their spells. Kuman, a bit too aggressive. You saw the Remnants just not fast enough. He was, like, I think his move speed was limited, so he was just double tapping, and he's only going like 300, 400 units. Ends up just catching a stun from Mickey, gets blasted off the map. Satanic now complete on the Sven to go with the Aegis, which he will have for another minute and a half. But you can see the difficulty for both teams, really, because it's so easy. Alliance, they feel like if they overextend, they'll get punished, they'll get wiped once again. Winstrike, though, if they overstep, if they get picked off, suddenly one mistake, one core dead for 2 minutes with no buyback, Alliance just clean up the entire base.
Yep. But Alliance still didn't get that bigger momentum they were looking for in the top. Like, that melee Rax, like, it needed to go down.
It did, but I'll be honest, too, I don't think the one Rax doesn't matter right now.
You don't think it matters enough?
Not one. You actually, I think, prefer just being able to kill that top shrine when possible. That's going to be big because it'll allow you to go for that third Roche so much easier, and a Refresher Shard or an Ags in this game would be quite nice.
They're going to smoke up. Ember's now after, like, he's actually holding back from the Onya, and he's going to go for an Aghanim Scepter build.
I like that. Permanent Remnants.
They found a target. Insania. Shiva's guard up. Make sure there's no jump away. Keep the control. And over on the side. Yep. Chasing after Boxy. He'll blink back up again. And wait, hang on. Where are we going? Whoa. Hey. Whoa. Tiger goes in the trees and Boxy goes west.
Yeah, you'll take that if you're Alliance, though. You got the ultimates, but concern is that they're doing it right, in my opinion, in that they're staggering it. You didn't have Golem there, but you're still willing to get aggressive because you have the Haunt. And that's the thing about the Winstrike scaling, where now it's not at a point where they need all the ults to win fights. They just need one or two, as long as they're not initiated on. That first fight in the base went so well for Alliance because Ember was dead, and they got the Warlock of No Fear. That has to happen again if you want to take an engagement as Alliance. 5 minutes on the deck for Warlock.
Kuman, the slider fist, and he spirits away. Tiger was right on top of him, ready to hit him with the Walrus Punch. That is too close.
Oh,
now they jump. They broke the Lincoln Sphere. The Barrister from Nongrata, keeping Tusker away from the secondary stun. Do they have enough? It looks like they do. Kuman is down for 100 seconds. Buyback is available. Now Mickey on the end of his BKB jumps in. The instant death rock. He just cleaned up the hell.
He has no buyback.
That looked like a side blade attack. Now Lil's on the run. He knows he can't get away. A quick Fisher, but Quote the Spare staying on top of him. That's why escape is futile. Tiger finally comes in.
But those buybacks don't matter. Honestly, I think Warlock is the most important hero for Alliance to kill. And do you go, I'm just questioning, do you go for Throne here? Are you that confident? You know it's a 4-on-5 at least. You've got to assume the other two heroes have buybacks. What do you do if you're Alliance? How much is enough of this base to take?
Here comes your fight. Double buybacks will arrive. SK also buys out by picking up that Lotus Orb of his.
You can't back here.
They're backing. The TP comes behind the lines. Kuman, where is he going? What's he looking for? The Dire Observe Ward is nice, so he knows how much he can get away with for this.
That's dodge. And Spectre is not really a target anymore for Alliance. They need to be in the base. They need to threaten structures and force Winstrike to come to them.
They're coming. Wrap around the back, but that Observer Sentry will scout out Kuman, wrapping around from the rear. So I'm not exactly certain exactly what he wants to achieve with this. The Bear is the only thing at risk at the moment.
Yeah, but one Rax doesn't matter. Alliance, You need more. You need more.
30
it's not going to
seconds.
get...
Koifa CPing out. The Yule Scepter going to cancel that. I mean, at least on the bear. They're trying to send it back for an extra refresh. Now Kuman jumps forward with the blink. He can't get the lasso off. Instead it's the Echo with the epicenter. They put them all together for the Ice Blast return. Winstrike takes too much damage. It's Mickey who's finally swinging his sword. He gets himself a double lease out of it. Koifa wants to move forward, letting the BKB bear do the work on the front lines. But now it's silent. Maybe he's got something to return. Nope, he'll return back to his base. He is savagely roared away with a Burrow Strike. Non-Grata canceling the TP. The Spirit Committal forward. The extra buyback is coming in. No fear. The Fatal Bonds. The rock will drop. Now the damage must be applied. Incendiary and Koifa. All their bonds, all their fates are tied together. Silence beating into Meki, but Meki beats straight back again. Koifa's the easier target. He'll BKB. He had to break free of it. The Shrine will kick in, but no fear. Too much damage. A quick force on the way. They get the stun. They get the control. Silent will shatter into a million pieces, but he'll buy back, putting the pieces back together again. He is the Terminator, but Winstrike, they lost no fear. They've actually lost their big one. The Warlock is gone. No Fatal Bonds. But what can Alliance get from this? How hard can they push from this? And don't you tell me they're just going to get 45-minute bounty runes.
There's no buyback on anyone on the side of Winstrike anymore. This is your opening, but it's just the supports. And like we said, the 1 racks isn't a huge deal. Winstrike, they got a little overeager there. Like, they popped the hump, but like you said, it's the Warlock that truly matters in these fights. Mickey Sven as well, the Hyperstone, the Satanic. He is a force to be reckoned with when he does have that God Strand active, especially after level 25 talent.
They're doing racks. They're not going for anything harder than this. And they're not even all there. Lone Druid is still further away, down south next to the secret shop.
Haunt in 10 seconds. Spectre just got level 25 for the Dispersion talent as well. He's so tanky.
God. How long until he also consumes that Moonshot and puts the Echo Saber back in again? Is it worthwhile holding in the pit? Well, Big 8 jumps in. Searing chains him up. Non-Grata will come in close as well. That's one very confident Sven, while Batrider still hunting for his own Blink Lasso.
You can see, though, the threat. Like, this Ags on Kuman, along with the Remnant Restore Charge talent. Like, he's so mobile now, it's incredibly difficult for Alliance to take him out. And his damage output, it's lower, but because they have the support, he's not the true hard carry. You have the Spectre, you have the Fatal Bonds. It's a big difference. The Refresher Shard in the pit, Aegis is up, 5-on-5, all abilities with the exception of the Warlock Golem prepared.
I'm wondering what you're looking for as well for the double. If at this point, like if you're looking for the double lasso, if you're looking for another bear, if you're looking for another God Strength BKB Satanic, that could just make Mickey completely immortal. But he doesn't have the item slots for it. Again, he's dropping the Echo Saber for it, like into his backpack.
Arcane Anti-D up.
Too late for Winstrike to get there.
Yeah. I think Refresher goes to the Batrider. Yeah, that's to be expected because he has BKB Lasso. So you want to allow him to find those key pickoffs against these heroes without buyback.
Did he just pass it on? I think he just passed it on to somebody else.
Who? Lone Drew? No. Mickey. Mickey, they're just like, you know what? We trust you.
Yeah.
You take care of this for us.
One Mickey is not enough.
It means he'll be able to aggro, ult, BKB, potentially, if not find a kill. He'll make himself a target as Koifa can clean up the buildings, and then he can swap Refresher in after Aegis and be ready to go again right away.
So the big thing for the next fight is the fact that Nofi has buyback available. This is the biggest thing.
Not just that, the way Winstrike itemized, specifically Silent with the Scotty into Blade Mail, their damage output's actually quite low. Silent, I felt like needed a butterfly, like an abyssal, some method of applying raw damage output, whereas now it's like, wait, did Alliance suddenly with a 20k lead, like, are they still gonna win this game? Like,
they really could, and the Bears are going to be more of a nuisance. And Aghanim Scepter just got purchased, so the Bear can do a solo push on the side lane if it wants to, just splitting the attention of Winstrike, which is the worst thing that can happen because Winstrike want a 5-man fight. They do not want to have less.
They want like this. They need the initiation, but the problem is that because the itemizer gets cute, but Alliance can just do this. They're just going to walk forward.
Pitcher out. Fire strike, the rock, and the golem. Everything was put together with a fatal
just
bond.
The support. Look in the base.
Yeah, it is top lane. Together. Top lane is definitely happening. Mickey's able to TP away to safety, but remember the Bear. The fortification had to be burnt to keep the melee ranks alive, but Tusker is dead for over 100 seconds.
But you still have that concern. As Winstrike, you don't have building damage. And now that there's an Ags on Koifa, you still have that X factor where no matter what Winstrike does, if they get too distracted trying to kill heroes on the enemy side of the map, their base may just die. Backdoor protection is not even enough to save the buildings.
The Bear's going again. It's having another run towards the top lane of Rax.
It's got a BKB and the talent, which means it has effectively double BKB. There it is. There's the one.
They caught it out. ES is just trying to keep it stunned up, but the BKB, it just does the work. Say goodbye to one lane of Rax. This is Dota 2. The full lane of Rax is taken from the top. Well played indeed.
He's going to get it out, too.
And he actually gets it away to safety. My lord.
Koifa's realized at the start, maybe it wasn't so good I wasn't playing with my team. But now, it's the right decision. He gets the second lane of Rax, only mid lane left to take. And it feels like just by brute force, Alliance may win this game. By straight up,
It was
they're
meant
just
to be
too strong.
It was meant to be 20 minutes is when Alliance needed to win this game, or else Winstrike would hit their moment. And now it's just hit that other point where it's like, you know what, Lone Druid, he doesn't item cap. Like, he's always known as like that 12-item hero.
It's just too much utility, I think, on Winstrike, and not enough team fight where, again, like the Scotty, the Blade Mail, low damage on the Spectre. Ags on Ember is great. You can see here even, like just the ease at which he can clear creep waves and get initiations, but their overall damage output is suffering. You know, Ags soon on Lil, but like just in general, a low damage lineup. And yeah, sure, Fatal Bonds is incredible, don't get me wrong. But now, because of that talent, because at level 25, Lone Druid gets the Battlecry Grant spell immunity, he's no longer as susceptible. He can counteract that Fatal, and it's not the same anymore.
Yep. So what does Winstrike do? They push out the mid, they push out the bottom. They know the bear is just focusing on the top lane for the moment, but they try and relieve this pressure that Alliance is applying with almost ease and buying time for the rock to come off cooldown. Now the 30 seconds before Golem will be up. Warlock is almost hitting 25 as well. And what are we looking for actually from our supports? Actually, we may put that on ice. Smoke up from Alliance. They're looking for something.
Yep. You just want something. You've got Aegis for another minute. Mickey can get into base. You know there's no glyph. A mic issue.
All right, so we have a moment to look around. So is there anyone that's actually not 25 yet? I think we pretty much hit the levels apart from Warlock.
Nobody that's like super relevant. If you're Alliance, the only thing you have to do is not initiate on like the Sand King Spectre. You just go for the buildings. Mickey, make some noise. Koifa, you know there's no glyph. Pop the Battlecry, get the BKBs, and just go for the jugular right here.
6 seconds till rock. Here comes the bear forward. They just want to make sure this wave is totally gone. Spirit forward and back, but they got the lasso target. That's the big one. It's ES taking away that big ultimate of his. He does not have buyback available. It's on cooldown for the moment. The trade-off will be, however, be AA going down. And the Megas, the bear is doing most of the work. You're okay with this. It's just a bear at the end of the day. But Mickey, he'll jump in with the BKB. One cleave will do it, and he'll TP away to safety. No! Oh, the bash! It connected! Mickey's in trouble! The follow-up Burrow Strike! The Sven will end up falling. They have to kill him a second time, but he's all alone inside the Dire base.
Look at
he doesn't have extra health, and they're actually going to get the bloody thing. Everybody come back. But then again, H&M like they're going to go down middle as well. Sven has fallen.
Oh my god, Insania literally drawing a back arrow on the minimap. No doubt, guys, we did our job. Get out of dodge. We don't want Mickey to be forced to buy back here. Just regroup. We can continue to rinse and repeat. There is no answer from Winstrike for a double BKB bear. First with the Battlecry, then with its own BKB. It's indefensible. You can't kill it. And whoa.
Jump up. He found a target. He caught Lone Druid. They're not back. They're on the Dire side of the river. The Observer Ward from the Dire saw it. Savage Roar will push him away, but the chase is still continuing. No fear. He's going to try and slow him down. Upheaval. BKB on the Druid, but all right, what are you going to do, Koifa? He's just going to run again. Savage Roar causing some problems. The ES Fish is controlling the bear as well. I don't think they've actually decided which target they want to go on, but they'll kill the bear at least. Koifa does not have a resummon available. No fear can't catch up, but it's a crazy day when a Warlock is chasing a Lone Druid.
Why is Koifa firing an easy camp, Toby? There was an arrow drawn on the map. Stay within the sanctity of your own base and return to the plan.
No, don't do that. That's a very boring way to play Dota.
Thank you, Aiden. He might be able to hear me, but no, he can't hear me, guys. I'm not yelling that loud, but seriously, though.
We have to penetrate like 5 walls, as well as a crowd and a stage speaker to actually reach him. It'll take a lot.
Whew. Yeah, but...
Hey, everyone's getting buyback off cooldown, apart from ES, and AA's is just short of money.
Yep, and
so we could have ourselves one hell of a beef.
It's at a point where Winstrike... I'm trying to find out, like, how do you approach the fight? The concern is that the team fights now aren't going their favor because they just simply don't have the damage output. Sven and Lone Druid are doing more than either of the cores on the other side. This is a great smoke, though, because Alliance is still not threatening the base.
But they smoked half a second too early. The TP of SK
Coifa's
didn't
bear. If
complete.
they kill the bear, this is the last bear. They should know this.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It does not pop the smoke. They
Can
see
they
the
find
bear.
it? Oh, the bear got pulled back up. He's going to be up on the high ground. Now, no fear. The lasso! It's on the Warlock! Warlock's instantly down. He'll get himself a death ultimate, buy him back. It'll take a very long time to walk to the front line. Spectral Horn also being committed. Maybe they have themselves a target. The Yule Scepter up. It's Meke on the front lines, looking for his damage into Kuman. The Ice Blast is coming as well. A quick Spirit jump away, so Ice Blast will be completely ineffective. Lil's looking for his own target. They've got the back lines, but it's actually, woohoo! Lil just got sliced up by Sven. The real knight knows how to wield a sword, and he wants more of a fight. Lotus Orb to protect, at least for the moment, but with a double snowball stun. The Fatal Bonds and Rock finally connected, but how much damage has Winstrike got left? Box getting into the fight. Silence getting his own damage. They're adding the damage with a side of fist. They're all going down. Silence and all for a kill. Looking for the full rampage. Give it to him. He's going to go down as well. It's Kuman who takes the kill. Alliance almost all dead. They found the Tusker over on the side. He's underneath his own shrine. But Kuman with the Spirit committal. Tiger, he's going to go invis. The Shivas will slow him down. He's trying to juke it. Here comes the attack. You've got the attack to get the Tusker down, and he will fall. But the defense, Home is in trouble. Nongrata is doing the best he possibly can to keep it alive, while the rest of Winstrike must add enough pressure to get Alliance to at least...
They've got a creep wave.
They have to get Alliance to buy back.
But no bear. There's no bear for 20 more seconds. There's a DD top. That was huge.
They have to fall back, though. They don't have the damage output anymore. Without the ES, without the SK there, I don't think they have enough. There's 2 heroes in returns. They can take the tier 3 tower, but how much more can you grab? They're going for the melee, but without the golems now, too.
Here they come. Kuman's coming. They're looking to get aggressive here. No man on the Spectre, but he does have buyback haunt available.
Oh, the BTs.
They're going to go for the win right here, Toby. The creep waves are fine. Bat Rider dead for 60 seconds. I think you just go for Throne here.
Druid needs to buy back, even if he doesn't have bear, but no, they don't. They're going to back up. We have 55-minute bounty runes to grab. We can think about the next Roshan as well. They just claimed 1 lane of Rax.
It's equalized, and it just... Oh, that second bear, as soon as it went down, you could see Alliance like, oh no. And that's all because Winstrike, it didn't look great at the start. Warlock dies immediately, but they had to fight on the enemy side of the map. No matter what happens, they couldn't allow Koifa to get his bear to their base before that fight.
Kuman's going to build into a BKB. He'll probably have to drop either his BTs or his phase boots for this. And he's actually running both at the moment on this Ember Spirit. If he just wasn't versatile enough already, a refresher orb built for Sven, so he's got double everything without having to have the shard. Remember, this will be the next Roshan, so we should have all the upgrades. That's Aegis consumable, that's the refresher shard, as well as the cheese and Aegis.
And there's also now an Abyssal Blade active on the Spectre. Once he grabs the items from base, suddenly he's able to go toe-to-toe. He could potentially even just go straight for Koifa, maybe the bear.
Even SK's affording an Assault Cuirass.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's
that's
buying
the team
huge
fight
items.
they were waiting for. They needed some, like, just damage. They needed auras, and I believe they're going to get...
Kuman changed his mind. He's going in for an Octarine core now. He needs to lower the cooldown of everything and get as much damage out as possible. But hey, when that Warlock, he was able to get the Fatal Bonds off, like, you saw how quickly they melted.
And the Ags, too. Like, he's now going to have a Golem at first. In that fight, he had 4 because he died, then popped them. He just has to get his spells off. The Aeon Disc now will ensure that the Fatal Bonds is almost certainly going to be able to be cast before he goes down. And you've got to worry about a Spectre with an Abyssal Blade. He can get Mjolnired now at all times by the Ember once this Octarine is finished. It's still anybody's game. And it's going to come down to who makes the next mistake. Buybacks will soon play a role in the game.
Roshan started. Alliance in a very good position to take it. The creep wave will push him anyway.
No one on Alliance has buyback, though, Toby.
I'm wondering,
no one.
I'm wondering who they actually give the Aghanims upgrade to. It's got to go AA, right? It has to go to AA. Or do you give it to Mike?
I think you give it to Mike. No, you give it to Taiga. You give it to Taiga so we can start punting people across the map.
He's looking at it. He's looking at it.
Yeah, you have to.
Boom. Wait, no, he passed it on. It's in the Bat Rider. Of course, it's a double lasso. They're looking for the double lasso.
But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
I think the kiting would have been more effective because you don't ever want to target Spectre, right? So if you could just punt him across the map, that would buy Alliance the time. You can see Koifa, look at his plan. He's like, secret agent, I'll infiltrate from the top. utilizing Boo Boo the Bear. You guys caused a distraction in the mid lane.
Look at No Fear, he's already moving out Observer and Sentry. Like, maybe Alliance would try and get a sneaky wrap around. But if anyone sees that double damage rune, hello, Spirit, no, in. Kuman, Spectral Horn, they're looking for Insania. The Observer and Sentry in the mid lane, that's what let them know. Ancient Apparition's already going to go down. They look towards Tiger, but they can actually get the control. No, they can't. Meanwhile, up on top, yeah, Bear's doing its work, pushing in with the lane, forcing Winstrike to retreat. They will not allow the push. But the items are starting to be completed. Lil already got his Aghanim Scepter. The Octarine is now fully completed over on Kuman. He's got so much more sustain in the fights now.
He does.
Like how much time is he even vulnerable? Like he's just sleight of fisting all the time.
He really isn't. The remnants recharge at what is it?
So he's got a 4.5 second cooldown on Sleight of Fist. If he can hit enough units, he should be fine.
Yeah, he's just nigh impossible to kill. And you can see Winstrike, they recognize, look, if we use Haunt, find Alliance, we can just hunt them with ease because our reach potential is insane thanks to this Kuman Ember Spirit.
Oh, no fear, no fear, no fear. You're under Observer and Sentry. These are the big one, not Warlock. He can't afford to die. He's going to force up. He's turning around. Push back up again with the Aeon Disc. He's away to safety. Even with a slow from the sticky napalm, he still turns the right way, keeping cool, calm, and collected.
That's the item right there. That if he doesn't have that, he's dead with no buyback. Even 5-position supports, guys. This is the new Dota 2. Every member of your team is important. You need to make the right decisions at all times. 60 minutes we have just passed, and still the gold lead bouncing back and forth,
it's the 60-minute bounty runes that go 2-2 either way. We actually got fissure range. All right, so not looking for the echo damage. Oh, yeah, you'll take that. And the thing which is able to get a longer stun and control against Alliance. And the Aghanim Scepter is being built up now by the SK as well, so that's his next major item to grab.
Even more reach potential as well. Suddenly you have...
Like their chase to hit the back line is so much more effective.
And you can see the problem Insania is having right now is at the moment he's like, you can see Spectre just immediately, oh, there's AA, Haunt, got him, dead. There's nothing he can do. He has to use Ice Blast immediately, and he's not close